morning guys, it's Kira and welcome to another vlog. It's currently Friday morning, I think it's the 7th of August today, and it is a beautiful day. The sun is shining outside, which is always lovely, and today is actually meant to be one of the hottest days of the year, I think. I think it's supposed to get up to like 30 degrees, which pretty much never happens here in the UK, so I'm really excited about that, especially because, as I seem to keep mentioning, I'm very excited for autumn to start in September, and I honestly cannot wait because it's my favourite season. But for that reason, we're now in August, and that means there's only a few weeks left of summer, so I'm really trying to make an effort to actually appreciate and enjoy the last few days of summer and all of these sunny days that we're having, because I know that probably after today we're not going to have that many left. So I can enjoy autumn when it arrives, but for now I'm going to try and focus on enjoying summer. So I'm probably going to spend quite a bit of time outside today just soaking up the sun and enjoying this nice weather whilst it lasts. But aside from that, I'm also really excited for today's vlog because I'm coming to the end of a little reading quest which I have been loving so much. As you may or may not know, at the beginning of July, I started a read-along of the Lord of the Rings series with my friend Lucy, who I'll have linked down below. We called it the Fellowship of the Read-along, and essentially we read the series together, and lots of you have joined in as well. We've done live shows, we've got a Discord chat, and it's just been so much fun. So we started obviously with the Fellowship of the Ring on the 1st of July, and I'm now about to start the beginning of the end of this journey, because today I'm going to be picking up Return of the King, which is of course the final book in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I've honestly had such an incredible time reading this series, and it's been even more fun reading it with Lucy and all of you who've joined in, because it's just really fun to hear everyone's thoughts, and these books are so complex and layered with so much information that hearing everyone's individual opinions and ideas about what's going on in the series has really helped to build up my understanding of the book series and of this world, which I think has just made me enjoy it even more. It's been really fun because I'm of course reading the series for the first time ever, whereas Lucy is rereading it for I think the 3rd or 4th time, and she loves them. So we've had a really nice balance of someone like Lucy, who is obviously coming to her multiple rereads of this series, and each time is refining her ideas about what's going on and sort of finding new bits to understand and noticing new details, whereas I'm of course reading it for the first time and just trying to take it all in. And I think that's been a really fun balance as we've been reading the series and as we've been having these live shows and discussions. I just think it's been really fun. So I'm going to be starting this one later on today, and I'm very excited but also quite nervous because at the end of the Two Towers there were some big twists and turns, and it was quite a cliffhanger, and I'm very nervous for some of my favourite characters because I just don't know what's going to happen. So I'm going to be starting this one later on today, and because I'm finally coming to the end of the books in the series, Jay and I this evening are going to finally start the films. As well as having never read the books, I've also never watched any of the Lord of the Rings films, so I'm completely new to this world, and Jay and I are going to watch the films later on today. Well, we're going to start them, to clarify. We're not going to watch them all today because we're watching the extended versions, and they are long. They are all upwards of 3.5 hours, and I think the final one, so Return of the King, is 4 hours long, which is so long, and I actually find it really hard to stay focused on films for a really long time, and I don't watch that many films because I get distracted really easily. And so I think we might actually end up splitting them in half, so watching half of the Fellowship of the Ring today, half tomorrow, and then so on and so forth with the Two Towers and Return of the King, just so that we don't miss any detail or get distracted. But I'm very excited to delve into the series again, and I just cannot wait to see what happens. So that is my plans for today. I'm actually just about to head out for a walk with my mum because, like I said, I want to try and make the most of the lovely weather today, and we're going to go for a coffee, go for a little walk, and just enjoy this beautiful weather. But after that, I'll get home and probably do some reading in the garden. I feel like it's not at all dramatic to say that I genuinely feel like I might be at risk of melting today because it is so hot. It's been a slightly weird day because even though it's been really hot, it hasn't actually been that sunny. It was really sunny this morning, then it got super grey and actually rained this afternoon, but it's now back to being sunny and very warm. But I have officially made a start on the final book in the Lord of the Rings series. I've read about 30 pages and so far I'm really liking it. Weirdly, when I started The Two Towers, I didn't enjoy the first part of that book because it wasn't really focused on Frodo and Sam and it took ages before they came into the story, and I just kind of was a little bit not bored but just not as engaged with the other characters, whereas this time it's done that again. It's starting by focusing on the other characters and I have a feeling it'll probably be a while until Frodo and Sam are in the book. However, I'm finding a little more appreciation for those other characters this time around and I'm really enjoying it, particularly because I love Frodo and Sam because of their friendship for each other, and the two other hobbits that we have in this book are Pippin and Merry, and I'm really appreciating the friendship that they've got going on here as well. So at one part Pippin says, because they've gone on separate paths as well, and he says, "I'm lonely to tell you the truth. I left my best friend behind in Rohan and I have had no one to talk or jest with." And I just thought that was so sad. And then later on we get something from Merry's perspective and he says, what does he say? Oh yeah, he says that he was depressed by all these gloomy words and more than ever he missed the unquenchable cheerfulness of Pippin, and I just thought that was so cute. So this time around I'm really noticing the other lovely friendships that we have coming up in this book and I'm really enjoying it. And then another less cheery and cute quote is from Gandalf, who always has really great lines, and he basically says, what does he say? Something not very positive, but quite keeping with, oh yeah, here it is, quite keeping with the rest of the theme of the book. This is something that comes up quite often. And he says, "Well, there's no need to brood on what tomorrow may bring. For one thing, tomorrow will be certain to bring worse than today for many days to come." And I'm like, wow, that is the positivity that we need right now. We've got a horrible task ahead of us and let's just accept it. And I feel like that there is a lot of like a keep calm and carry on, and I'll let my future self deal with that problem in these books, because they're all very much aware that they don't have much positivity ahead of them and they don't really have a huge amount of hope, but they still know that they have to carry on no matter what. And so that's kind of like the theme that goes through the rest of this book. So that's where I'm at so far and I'm definitely enjoying it. However, I'm just about to go and make some dinner because somehow it's already 5 p.m. So I'm going to go make dinner, and I think Jay and I are going to make a start on watching the Fellowship of the Ring film, which I'm very excited about.
We do not stop till nightfall.
What about breakfast?
We've already had it.
We've had one, yes. What about second breakfast?
Happy Saturday guys, or actually I guess happy whatever day it is when you are watching this vlog. It's Saturday for me though, and I'm just currently enjoying my Saturday morning cup of tea from my Rebecca mug, because I just simply cannot contain my excitement any longer. A couple of days ago, it was finally announced that the new Netflix movie adaptation of Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier is going to be coming out on the 21st of October, and I was so excited by that. So excited, in fact, that along with one of my friends, Jess from the channel Read by Jess, we came up with the idea for Rebecca Long. Rebecca Long is essentially going to be a read-along of Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and we're also going to be chatting about the film, doing a live watch Twitter chat and having a live show. So we're both very, very excited about it, and as you may be able to tell from my very coordinated outfit with the book, the shirt and the mug, I just filmed an announcement video all about Rebecca Long, so I'll have that linked down below so you can go and check that out and see all the details if you're interested. But essentially I am absolutely buzzing with excitement about this because it's one of my favourite books. You don't have to have read it or loved it before though, you can read it for the very first time. Anyone who wants to be involved in this read along can be, because Jess and I are both so excited about it. But essentially that's why I'm so matchy this morning, and I am very excited. I am, however, about to change out of this shirt very, very soon, because although it was the perfect outfit for my announcement video, it's a very hot day again, so I don't feel like this is the best summer outfit. But essentially that's what I've been doing this morning. Yesterday evening, Jay and I actually did make it through the entirety of all 3.5 hours of the Fellowship of the Ring film, and we both loved it. I'm now really struggling to decide whether I liked the movie or the book best. The Fellowship of the Ring is my favourite of the Lord of the Rings books so far, and I obviously have only seen that film, but it was so good. It just was incredible to see all of the amazing scenery and landscapes that Tolkien had created in the book brought to life so vividly, and honestly it was amazing. There were also characters who I had enjoyed in the books, like Boromir, but who were even more exciting to watch in the film, because I feel like their character just sort of came to life on screen where they didn't necessarily grip me as much in the book. I honestly loved Boromir so much in the movie, predominantly because he's played by Sean Bean, and honestly it is one of my biggest happinesses in life that no matter what film or TV show Sean Bean is in, he just holds on to that Yorkshire accent and just refuses to do anything else. So I think that is hilarious and I love it. And then another thing I really liked was Pippin. Pippin is one of the hobbits, if you're not aware, and I really like him in the books as well, but I felt like he was even more funny in the films, and I just related to him so much, mostly because he's so obsessed with food, but he's also really clumsy and just all of the things that I am basically. So absolutely loved it. It was incredible, and we're going to be starting the Two Towers this evening, and then in and amongst all of that I'm going to be enjoying another sunny day and hopefully doing a lot more reading of A Return of the King. Good morning guys, it's now Sunday and I just got back from teaching my Sunday morning yoga class, which was really nice. I'm loving teaching yoga in person at the moment and it's just so lovely, so I really enjoyed that, and it's such a nice way to start my Sunday. But since getting back, I'm very grateful for the fact that I made the most of the sunny weather on Friday and Saturday, because it is a very grey Sunday today. So I've just made myself a cup of hot chocolate. It's like the frothiest hot chocolate I think I've ever made. There are don't know if you can really see, so many bubbles, and it is so good. I made this one with maple syrup, cinnamon and ginger, along with obviously cocoa powder, and they just elevate it to a whole new level and just make it so cozy and warming and just so good. Delicious. In terms of reading, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a huge amount to say on Return of the King because I haven't done that much reading yet. Please don't fall off the bookshelf. Okay. I haven't done a huge amount of reading yet, so I'm up to page 806, which essentially equates to having read just over 50 pages of Return of the King. So not a huge amount yet, but I feel like that mostly came down to the fact that whilst it was really nice to have sunny weather yesterday, it was so hot and humid, and I just really struggled to get comfortable and read when it's just so hot outside, so I didn't end up doing all that much reading. However, like I said, today is a lot cooler, so I'm hoping to get a lot of this book read today, and hopefully I'll have some more updates for you. But then aside from that, we did start the Two Towers film last night. Oh my god, that's so nice. So we started the Two Towers, we ended up watching 2 hours of it. It's basically a 4-hour film, so we decided to split it in half, and we're going to watch the second half of it tonight. And I'm really enjoying it. I love seeing the characters like actually on screen, and there are characters, like I've mentioned, that I just think are even better on screen. Absolutely loving Legolas, and I think if I had to choose like a species from Middle Earth to be, I think I'd want to be an elf because they just seem super cool. So I'm absolutely loving Legolas. I obviously love all of the hobbits, and then like I said, I am kind of sad that Boromir is only in the first film because I loved Sean Bean playing him and I would have loved for him to be in all of the films, but alas, that is not the case. So I'm basically having a very Lord of the Rings themed weekend. Hopefully going to do a lot of reading today, watch the end of the Two Towers, and then I think we're obviously going to watch the Return of the King film at some point next week, but I of course need to finish the book first. That is better. I was having one of those afternoons where I just felt a bit like ugh, and gross, so I thought I'd do a little face mask mini pamper sesh, and I just feel so much more rejuvenated, and now I'm going to try and tackle some reading. I did pick the book up earlier with my hot chocolate like I mentioned, and I made it through about 5 pages and then I almost fell asleep because I was just feeling so lacking in energy, so I'm hoping that I'll feel a bit more buzzing, you know, ready to do it now, and I'll hopefully have more of a reading update next time I speak to you. Good morning guys, it's now Monday, and as you can probably tell from my slightly more formal than usual outfit, I'm just in the midst of getting ready to go out to work. But before I set off, I just wanted to give you a little reading update on Return of the King, which I have now made a little bit of progress with. I'm now on page 870, which equates to essentially having read about 125 pages of this book so far, and I'm definitely enjoying it. However, I'm definitely finding myself comparing the books to the films now. Jay and I finished watching the Two Towers last night, so we've now watched 2 of the 3 films, and I absolutely love the films. I just think they are really incredible, and it's so amazing to be able to see all of this imagery brought to life on screen. I love the actors, just think it's absolutely incredible. The only bit that I despise about the films is the orcs and also the battles, because I'm like super sound sensitive and the orcs just make so much noise, and it kind of disgusts me. So I'm not a fan of the orcs, and I much prefer them in the books because you don't have to listen to them. You can just imagine them, and I'm kind of imagining like much more gentle cartoon style orcs rather than the absolutely horrific like monstrous versions that are created in the films. But aside from that, absolutely loving the films. I'm very excited to watch the final one, but I obviously need to finish the book first. Now, one thing that I'm noticing that I think I prefer about the films, aside from the fact that they're just so like visually beautiful, is that the characters and storylines are a little bit more intertwined, by which I mean that in this book we are now, like I said, about 130 pages in, and some of the characters, namely Frodo and Sam, my two favourites, have still not really made an appearance, and that was the case in the Two Towers as well. As I've mentioned in my last Lord of the Rings reading vlog, which I'll link down below if you want to hear more of my thoughts on the Two Towers, essentially all of the Lord of the Rings books are split into two parts called books. And essentially, like, books 1 and 2 was the Fellowship of the Ring, 3 and 4 is the Two Towers, and then we're now 1, 2, 5 and 6 in Return of the King. And in the Two Towers, book 3, so the first half of that book, focused on a lot of characters, like we had Merry and Pippin, we had Gandalf, Gimli, Legolas, Aragorn, all of those types of characters. And then the second half really focused just on Frodo and Sam. So Frodo and Sam didn't really get mentioned at all in the first half of the Two Towers, and then the characters that we focused on in the first half didn't really get mentioned at all in the second half. And I feel like it's just very disjointed in the sense that you go for a really long time without really knowing what's happening to some of the characters, whereas in the films, at least in the Two Towers, we see Frodo and Sam all the way through, and it kind of takes their storyline and intersperses it with the other characters, so that you're not like just watching one set of characters for half a film and then the other characters for the other half. And I think I prefer that just because I like to have that constant update about what's going on with everyone, and I feel like in the books you kind of are left hanging with some of the characters for quite a while. Nevertheless, why did I say that so formally? Nevertheless, I feel like I'm writing an essay. What I mean to say is just that essentially I am absolutely loving the book still, and I'm really invested in all the characters. It's getting very, very action-filled, quite dramatic, and there's a lot going on. I still have quite a bit left of this book to read, just under 200 pages, but I am going to be bringing it with me to work today and reading on my lunch break, so I'll probably update you later on this evening with some more thoughts. You know when you just make your drinks like a little bit too hot? I think that's what I've done here. Oh, but it still tastes so nice. I just love tea so much. I literally always make my teas maybe like a smidge too hot, just because, first of all, this mug is gigantic. This is my favourite tea drinking mug, as I'm sure you'll be able to tell, seeing as it's literally in every single vlog multiple times, just because it's so big. But that means I also have to make the teas extra hot, because otherwise it would be literally freezing cold by the time I got to the bottom. And I also just like to sip my teas at a very leisurely pace, which again means that I don't want to make it too drinkable to begin with, because then it would just be cold too quickly. But that does kind of mean that you have to grin and bear the horrific throat and chest burning sensation for them first few sips. But it's all worth it in my opinion for a good cup of tea. Might just have to put it down though, because it's kind of burning my hands. But anyway, it's Monday evening and work was really busy today, which was really good because Monday literally flew by. I honestly can't believe the day is almost, well, yeah, pretty much over. It's like 8:30 in the evening, and today was literally felt like one of those days that was over before it had even started. But in and amongst all of my worky jobs at work, I did manage to get some reading of Return of the King done on my lunch break. I made it to page 900, which is the very first page of part 6. Part 6 is the second half of Return of the King, and also the final part of the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, which is just like wild. I cannot believe that this reading journey is coming to an end. It feels like I've honestly been on such a quest with this, and I've followed the characters on their journey and their adventure, and also I just feel like it's taken me on such a reading adventure, not just in terms of this book and everything that it has to offer, but also in terms of the fact that I've finally kind of thrown myself into the depths of adult fantasy. That's a genre that has been interesting to me for a really long time, but has also been absolutely terrifying. And I feel like this book has kind of shattered that sort of sphere of adult fantasy for me and stopped it seeming like this unattainable genre that I just like couldn't get into. And it's kind of shown me that although you do have to kind of put the effort into paying attention, and it's not something that you can kind of just read idly like maybe you would with like a light-hearted contemporary, it is really worth it because the stories are incredible, or at least they can be in the case of this one. So like I said, we are on to book 6. At the end of book 5, things really started to pick up pace. As I mentioned this morning, it was getting very, very action filled and very, very tense, and that really continued right throughout the bit that I read on my lunch break because there is just so much going on. This entire series is of course about a group of characters, in particular Frodo, but all the people that go along with him, and the quest to essentially destroy the One Ring, which is obviously Sauron's ring and is a symbol of his intent to sort of do evil across the world and to essentially destroy and take over Middle-earth. And so the destruction of this ring is the entire goal of the series, and these characters are on their journey towards Mordor, which is the place that this destruction can take place. And so at this point, at the end of part 5, they are at Mordor, and this is obviously a really, really tense situation because you just do not know which way it's going to go and whether it's going to fall in favour of good or of evil. And then we also just have a war going on, which is of course adding a lot of action and tension to the situation, and honestly so much is going on. Something did happen at the end of part 5 which I'm really, really upset about. I'm hoping with all of my heart that it's not true and that maybe something will happen that will show me that that wasn't exactly the case and that things will be okay. But I'm not holding out hope. It has happened for other characters in the series previously, which is giving me like a teeny bit of hope. But at the same time, we're coming to the end of this huge fantasy series, and I feel like some tragedies just do have to occur. And so I'm kind of a bit devastated. So I won't give much detail there just because we're obviously at the end of a 3-part series and I don't want to give any spoilers in case you haven't read the series yet but are planning to. However, if you do want to hear some spoilery thoughts, I am doing a live show with Lucy on her channel on Friday the 14th of August. That is actually the same day that this vlog will be going live, so I'll have Lucy's channel linked down below so you can go and check that out and see all of our spoilery thoughts on The Return of the King. And then aside from reading at work, another pretty big thing happened, and that was that today I hit 10,000 subscribers. 10,000 subscribers. Like, I'm just letting that sink in because that just doesn't even sound real to me. That is just so like incredible, and honestly I'm just so overwhelmed with gratitude right now. So I did just want to take a minute in this vlog to express that gratitude to all of you. If you are a subscriber, if you watch my videos, if you like them, if you comment on them and have discussions with me in the comments about your thoughts on everything that I discuss in the vlogs, honestly just wanted to say a huge thank you and just wanted to let you know that you are so valued, because it really does make this YouTube channel for me. Like, it wouldn't be the same without people engaging, and the fact that there are people who enjoy the things that I enjoy and want to talk to me about the things that I'm so passionate about just makes this such an incredible space. And I also just think that the comment section is so positive and is such a joy to read, and honestly reading the comments on the videos that I put out is just literally one of my favourite things to do, and I really do try and respond to everyone because it really does mean the world that people actually like what I put out, and it is just such an exciting thing for me. So with that being said, I just wanted to express my absolute gratitude and just let you know that you are all so appreciated and loved by me, and I'm so glad that you're here. As a little 10,000 subscriber celebration, I am planning to do a Q&A just because I thought that would be a fun little thing to do, just to maybe get to know me a little bit more if that's something that you're interested in. So if you have any questions at all on absolutely anything, it could be books, food, yoga, life in general, leave them in the comments down below and I'll be filming that video very soon, and I'm very excited to see what it is that you're all interested in finding out more about. So my ultimate goal is to hopefully finish reading Return of the King tomorrow. I'll keep you updated, but that is the plan. And just like that, my quest is complete, because this morning I just finished up reading Return of the King. which of course brings my Lord of the Rings reading experience to an end. I didn't quite manage to achieve my goal of finishing it on Tuesday, as I mentioned last time I spoke to you, because I ended up having a really busy day at work on Tuesday and on Wednesday actually, so I didn't have all that much time for reading, but it's now Thursday morning, I don't have work today, so I just made myself a cup of tea this morning and settled down to read the last 60 pages and finish off this book. The ending was just exquisite. This entire book was incredible. It was such an amazing end to the series. The first half was so filled with action, and then the second half really ties everything together, and you have so many different conclusions because of course we have so many characters, so there are so many different loose ends to tie up, and I think that Tolkien did an incredible job of bringing everything together and concluding everything so that you have a really satisfying conclusion to literally every single part of this incredible journey, which is obviously really difficult to do because he had so many plates spinning, and yet he managed to really conclude everything so incredibly well. So the ending was amazing. The just like concluding chapter was honestly just like so amazing. It was really sad in parts and definitely made me tear up, but it was also just so heartwarming and lovely, and it was just literally everything I could have ever wanted. This entire reading experience has honestly exceeded all expectations, and I've had such an incredible time, and Jay and I have now started the final movie. We started watching Return of the King last night, but it's a 4.5 hour long film, so we watched just over 2 hours last night, and we're going to finish that off this evening, which will then, I guess, bring my entire Lord of the Rings experience to an end, having then read all of the books and watched all of the films. I think it goes without saying that all of the books in this series have been 5-star reads for me, and the films have been 5-star watching experiences. They've all just been incredible, and I absolutely love them all. As I've already mentioned, we had the live show, the final live show for the Fellowship of the Read Along over on Lucy's channel on Friday the 14th of August. Whether you're watching this vlog on that day, because that's the day that this vlog is also going live, or you're watching it in the future, Lucy's channel will be linked down below so you can go and check it out and hear our final discussion on this series. And in that live show we'll be discussing the Return of the King book as well as all 3 of the movies, and I honestly cannot wait. But with that being said, this will bring this vlog to an end because I've had such an incredible few days reading this book, and I hope you've enjoyed hearing all of my thoughts. Another big thank you for anyone who has subscribed, and just like the fact that I reached 10,000 in this vlog was incredible. And again, I'm doing a Q&A, so if you have any questions, leave them down below. Well, I know that I said I was going to finish the vlog earlier, but Jay and I just finished up watching the Return of the King film, and it's literally broken me. So I just thought I'd put this in because I felt like it was a fitting conclusion to my Lord of the Rings experience. The ending for the book and the film are pretty similar, but just seeing it on the screen just super highlighted all of the bits that made me slightly teary when reading the ending, and it's just completely pushed me over the edge. So the films are incredible, I absolutely loved it, but oh my god, that was just too much. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time when hopefully I've recovered from this emotional turmoil.